Okay, today I'm going to talk about the most effective trading indicator in the market. I know it's the most effective because I've been using it for almost 14 years now, and it has doubled my performance during this time on the way to a triple. This is the Mad Hedge Profit Predictor, my market timing index. That is my secret weapon for making money in the market. And right now it is at a reading of 75, which means the markets are very high risk, time to take profits, and only any new positions on the long side you initiate here have only a 25% chance of making money and a 75% chance of losing. You want to get involved down here when it's down in the 20s or so. So why do you need a market algorithm? Well, why use a toolbox missing its most important tool? Algorithms have become so dominant in the market, you should never trade without one. 100-man research department in seconds. It runs real time and optimizes returns with the addition of every new data point far faster than any human can. Imagine a trading strategy that upgrades itself 1,000 times a day. Don't go to a gunfight with a knife. If you're trading against algos alone, you will lose. Get an algorithm on your side. Algorithms provide you with a defined systematic trading discipline that will enhance your trading profits. And this is the last year of readings in our market timing index. Notice that we get lots of market bottoms, August 31st, August 1st last year, April 2nd this year, and lots of market tops. So buy, sell, buy, sell. It's like a money-making machine. And this is the last 3 years of the market timing index. And again, lots of buys at market bottoms, lots of sells at market tops. And in fact, we have just completed 18 consecutive months of making money with this index as our guide. What's in the market timing index? Well, 50 and 200-day moving averages across all markets and industries. The volatility index, of course, which is now extremely low at 17. The junk bond U.S. Treasury bond spread, stocks hitting a 52-day high versus 52-day low. McClellan volume summation index, 20-day stock bond performance, 5-day put call ratio, stocks with rising versus falling volume, relative strength indicator, and 20 other conventional market indicators. These all get blended into a minestrone soup with a single number, buy or sell. Who can beat that? This is the long-term view. The global economy is being fundamentally remade by artificial intelligence, uh, uh, and companies will deliver the best investment performance. Never underestimate the earnings power of U.S. tech companies. Notice how well big tech rally has lasted. They will lead every new rally from now on. So buy every major dip. Trade wars, inflation, recession, politics, and exploding national debt are just temporary distractions. Keep focusing on the big picture. Take out your pen and paper to take notes or start typing into your smartphone. What I'm about to tell you will blow you away and change your life. I'm in the early retirement business. Your early retirement. Learn what to buy, when to buy it, and how. Why listen to me? Well, I have 55 years of experience in the global financial markets, 10 years as the economist correspondent in Tokyo and later the White House, 10 years running the international equity division at Morgan Stanley, Marine Corps combat pilot in Desert Storm, 10 years running the first international dedicated hedge fund, 5 years fracking for natural gas in Texas, and now 17 years publishing the Diary of a Mad Hedge Fund Trader. I am one of the handful of founders of the modern hedge fund industry who is still working. And of course, 88.05% trailing 1 year return. That's another reason to listen to me. Notice that we never have major drawdowns. It's basically sideways up, sideways up, sideways up. And that's how a real hedge fund actually operates. 50.64% average annualized return for 18 years versus 26.45% for the S&P 500. But don't believe me, listen to one of our happy customers and see how they've been doing.
Hi, my name's Wilson, and I've been with the Mad Hedge Fund Trader John Thomas since 2019. Um, I caught the phenomenal returns in 2019 and 2020, somewhere in the order of the 80–90% returns on both of those years. Um, I caught all of those trades, NVIDIA, the TLT, the Teslas, and so many more. And then in 2021, I started trading in some additional accounts, and I have caught almost all of those trades as well, and have been uh, getting almost the entire returns that John has received, and it's been just fantastic.
All right. Thank you, Wilson. And how did Wilson achieve this? Well, he made 482% on NVIDIA, 811% on NVIDIA again, Berkshire Hathaway 421, 412% on JP Morgan, 394% on Palo Alto Networks, 350% on Vertex Pharmaceutical, 113% on silver, and 87% on JP Morgan. And of course, this is far more than the actual stocks did that. How did we do this while limiting your risk? That's what you can learn with the Mad Hedge Fund Trader. I'm not the only one using algorithms. Some 80 to 90% of all current trading is algorithm driven. Why cover all asset classes? Well, information about one asset class sheds light on all the others. For example, knowing what the bond market is going to do and therefore interest rates is incredibly useful advantage when picking stocks. Some asset classes will be doing great while others are dead in the water. It will point you to where the trade winners are and how to avoid the losers. Give yourself every advantage. Knowing what's happening all the time everywhere is incredibly profitable. So, what happens when the euphoria in the market currently wears off? It's time to become a bear market expert. All bearish stock plays are now incredibly cheap. Uh, and let's start with the SDS, the garden variety short 2x S&P 500, and you can see it's absolutely sitting at the bottom down here, begging for attention. Notice that the longer that stocks go up, the bigger the crash that follows. SDS could your play. And if you caught the last meltdown starting in February, SDS went from 18 to 28. Not a bad return to have in a bear market. If you don't like the SDS, you want more leverage, there's a 3x short on the S&P 500. And during the same time, it went from 20 to 38, almost a double during the February-March meltdown. You can also buy put options. The people who bought the June 2025 240 puts for $11 collected $100 for each dollar that Apple fell below 229, your break-even cost, and $1,000 for every 10. And as we know, Apple did eventually fall to 170, making this a huge winner for people playing the short side. You can also sell short call options. This is especially valuable if you own the stock, but you don't want to sell it for tax or other reasons. Write calls against your existing position. And the people who did that, um, when Apple was up here, uh, sold short the June 2025 260 calls for $10. They collected $1,000 for each option as long as the stock was below 260. And of course, at 170, that was a pretty safe bet to make. Uh, so, uh, and then of course you catch the rebound on your long stock position if that's what you have. A lot of people just sell calls outright for fun and profit, people like me. You can also buy the volatility index. We saw the VIX jump from, let's see, um, do, 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 15 all the way up to 60, back down to, guess what, 15 again. And by the way, the longer VIX sits here at the bottom and the 15 handle, the bigger the spike that follows. uh-oh, it's going to be August next week, followed by what's worse, September. Not a bad idea to be buying VIX here, especially at a discount. You also want to sell short recent IPOs, and there is an ETF that does that. Surprise, surprise, the ticker is IPO. And notice how badly IPOs did. They collapsed from 48 all the way down to 30 in the spring meltdown, and then recovered just as fast. So again, another great way to protect your portfolios. And if that's not enough for you, it turns out momentum also collapses in falling markets. In this case, in February, momentum went from 230 all the way to 170 and then bounced back. Look what momentum is doing right now. It's going sideways and possibly starting to roll over to the downside. So that's another warning that we are about to get our very long-awaited downside correction. You can also sell short beta, which also collapses in in falling markets, and the ETF for that is the SPHB. There's ETFs on everything these days. There's probably an ETF on two flies crawling up a wall. I would just have to look to find it. Maybe I should you ask AI, two flies crawling up a wall, ETF. Uh, this ETF collapsed from 97 all the way down to 60 and then rebounded back up to 100. So again, a great trading vehicle, great downside protection, and something you should look into. And of course, there's always a hedge fund you can buy, which does market timing for you, strips the short-term movements out of your portfolio, and that's the HDGE. It fell from 17.5 down to 15 and then rallied from 15 up to 20. So again, this is kind of a market timing overlay that you can put on any conventional retirement, uh, 401k or something like that. So stocks are topping out right now. Historic market concentration bodes ill for future gains. Only 50 of the S&P 500 are at new all-time highs. The other 450 have failed to perform, and some of them have dropped by as much as half. Stocks like Tesla and so on, and a lot of retailers like Target. Since 1972, the S&P has posted below average returns over the next 1, 3, 6, and 12 months when new records were made with fewer than 100 stocks. Now we have fewer than 50. So this indicator of the hundreds out there is predicting that we could end up with zero return this year or even be down. Bitcoin has taken on new highs. Money is rolling into crypto at record rates with presidential recommendations. Hedge fund Citadel buys Morgan Stanley's option business. That's where the money is going right now. U.S. military becomes the largest shareholder in MP Materials, largest producer of rare earths in the U.S. They put $400 million into the company. That's a first since World War II. Italy bought American Cornflakes, WK Kellogg for $3 billion. Boeing ramps up 737 production, delivering 60 airplanes last month, the most since December 2023, and higher highs beckon. And Constellation's profits were wiped out by tariffs on aluminum cans. That's what you buy your beer in. So let's look at the big winners that we think will continue for the rest of this year. JP Morgan, we're targeting $400. And by the way, this is the forecast put out by our own algorithms, our market timing index. And so far they've been working pretty well. We made a fortune on JP Morgan this year. We see higher highs all the way up to 400. For Citicorp, we see $200 a share, a near double from here. Goldman Sachs, we're looking at 800. It's already had a great run, almost a double from the April bottom. Same with Morgan Stanley, my old firm, looking for $200 a share there. And BlackRock, we're looking for $1,200 a share, and we've already made it back 100 since I wrote this. And Interactive Brokers, king of the professional options traders market. Big gap up on earnings to yesterday, and we're targeting $100 a share there. Second half of the barbell are technology plays. Tech stocks are being trashed now, but always come back. Uh, AI innovation plays are still the leader of the market. Um, uh, Makes a great counterweight to deregulation plays, which I just showed you, like the banks. We could spend 2 years rotating back and forth between these two groups. Of course, NASDAQ is the big winner here. We're looking for another 20% in NASDAQ by the end of the year. Tesla, we think, is ripe for another sell-off. Earnings are out after the close today, I believe, or tomorrow. We look for another sell-off, which you probably want to buy. Eventually, in 10 years, we see Tesla hitting 4,600, more than 10 times the current level as all of their AI investments pay off. And that's me driving the new Cybertruck. Meta, front runner in social media and advertising sales, we're looking for $800. And by the way, these are all the various planes that I've flown in air shows over the years. I'm a combat pilot who flies vintage airplanes for a hobby, and that is a B-24 bomber, which had 150 missions over Europe and survived. Amazon, also a big AI winner, looking to play catch up with the other stocks. We're looking for $300 a share, and that's a B-26 Marauder that participated in the Bay of Pigs invasion, which didn't have enough air cover. NVIDIA just hit new all-time highs, became the first $4 trillion company. We're targeting $220 a share, and that's with a P-51 Mustang that I fly every few years or so. Alphabet, also playing catch up, we're targeting $250 a share, and that's me with an early generation P-51 Mustang. Does 450 miles an hour. Palo Alto Networks. Cybersecurity is the one sector you absolutely have to own. It's like an AI accelerator. We're targeting 250. By the way, we've been recommending this stock since it was about $10. And that's me with a Mitchell B-25 bomber from the Tokyo Raid fame. Bonds are pariahs. Budget bill raises the debt ceiling by 5 trillion. We could get there by the end of 2026. Bonds will take the national debt up to $42 trillion and are approaching 2025 lows in prices, high in yields. Long-term U.S. bonds have become international pariahs. Uh, People are moving away from long-term treasuries. Bond vigilantes are back and not to be taken lightly. Government spending hits all-time highs. Avoid all interest rate plays, TLT junk, Annaly Capital REITs, and so on. So here's the TLT, and we see this continuing a downtrend to at least 79. That takes yields up to 5%. And after that, higher highs beckon for yields. And here is the yield chart. We just hit 450, looking for an upside breakout to 550 sometime soon. And that may happen in September if Jay Powell doesn't cut interest rates. Foreign currency, US dollar has no friends. It hits 4-year lows as the sell America trade continues. Short dollars against long euros have become the most concentrated trade in the global markets. It's almost unprecedented for a currency to fall when its interest rates are rising, but that's what's happening. Debt default and trade wars are now the larger concern. And you can see what I'm talking about here. Australian dollar, uptrend. Japanese yen, uptrend. Euro, uptrend. British pound, uptrend. And that takes us all the way up to energy. Energy sector is marking down earnings as fast as they can. Exxon is the biggest U.S. energy company. Um, Flagged that second quarter earnings will take a hit from lower energy prices. U.S. drillers cut rigs for a 10th consecutive week for the first time since the pandemic, thanks to a global oil glut. OPEC is having a price war, increasing production by 550,000 barrels a day, with Saudi Arabia trying to undercut everybody else. Budget bills killed an effort to restock the Strategic Petroleum Mineral Reserve, cutting the funding there by 90%. U.S. crude oil inventories hit 1 year low. Look for energy plays to all hit new lows. And of course, in the commodities area, copper just got a new 50% tariff, which will almost certainly cut demand there. So here's oil, and we're looking like a massive 13, or actually 16-year double top here and here. After a breakdown, we see oil eventually going to $10, especially if we get a recession. On the last sell-off here, we actually got to negative 37. Yes, I bought oil at negative $10 a barrel and lost money. Yeah, we were afraid the market was going to close. So, I stopped out at 15, but it eventually did go to negative 37. Cameco, a big uranium supplier, is the energy play you want to do. Nuclear is undergoing a renaissance, reopening old plants, and we've already had a double since the April bottom. This has been a favorite of ours for a couple of years. Precious metals are consolidating as long as the stock market is going up. Gold will remain dead in the water. And let me take a look and see where gold is right now. Let's see, GLD is up today. Well, that means the stock market must be down, and it is. Um, so yeah, spectacular speculative money is chasing new highs in crypto plays at the expense of gold. Traders have been rolling out of hedges as stocks rise. Silver hit a new high for the year. Our leaps on AGQ, which is a 2x long ETF on silver, hit max profit. $50 an ounce. Here we come for silver, and 5,000 is our target for gold. Here's the GLD. We're having an up move today, but we've been consolidating for 3 months, coming off the April bottom. We see gold up 5,000 by 2028. That's a 66% gain. And here's the GDX. The miners should do about 2 times as good as gold does. Barrick Mining Corp, symbol B, they just changed their ticker symbol, is bumping up against new highs. Newmont Mining doing the same. The Silver Trust at all-time highs, or let's say not all-time highs, but let's see, 1979, 30, 55-year highs. I remember the 79 high. I made a killing on that one. Here's the Silver Miners ETF, waiting for an upside breakout. Wheat and precious metals, we've been recommending for years. People have made fortunes on this. Harsh truth is, you really need my help. Majority of individual traders lose money in the stock market. They think it's easy, but it's really a lot of hard work. They lack the correct training and discipline to succeed. Most broker research suffers from grievous conflicts of interest. Wall Street is all about moving money from the uneducated to the educated. Easy solution to that problem is to get educated from the mad hedge fund trader. Fidelity did a 20-year study and learned that their top performing investors were dead people. You need a real pro to guide you through the market maze. The market is not monolithic, and 95% of it can be completely ignored. There are a few great sectors and a lot of awful ones. You can earn a 10 times return from the great ones, but get wiped out by the losers. Let a 55-year veteran steer you to safe waters. Let me sit next to you and guide your hand on every winning trade. 88.05% trailing one return. I bet you'd like a piece of that. Richard made millions religiously following my trade alerts. He now spends his his retirement, restoring vintage aircraft and flying them over the California coast. And occasionally I get to fly them. Greg turned 100,000 into 3 million solely on my trade alerts. He bought a new home in Orange County, California with Tesla solar panels, Tesla Powerwalls, and Tesla Model 3, and still had enough money to send 3 kids to college. And let's hear about Bob, who turned 500,000 into 27 million in 2 years.
Hi, this is Bob. I live near Denver, Colorado, and I'm hiking on top of the Continental Divide. 9 months ago, I joined John's global dispatch service and was so impressed with the profits I made that 2 weeks ago, while hiking in the Dolomites, I joined his concierge service. And in 2 weeks, it is 100% paid for it. And I couldn't be happier. Life is good. John really helps. The other day, I had a text message exchange with him regarding some concerns I had with TLT. Put spreads, he encouraged me to stay in. I did, and today they went out at 95% of maximum potential profits. And that's the way it works for me. I hope you all do well trading yourselves. Thank you. Hi.
All right, so what do we do about this? Well, stocks, you want to stand aside right now. Don't get bullish at the market top. Bonds, you want to sell rallies. Commodities buy dips. Currencies buy dips. Precious metals buy dips. Energy stand aside. Volatility, sell over $30. And real estate, stand aside. So if you were not up 88.05% in the past 12 months as I was, you're reading the wrong newsletter or following the wrong trade mentoring service. 50.64% average annualized return for 18 years. You get those kind of returns, you get to do things that only the rich get to do, like take the owner's suite on the Queen Mary from New York to England. When you get to England, you can take the Orient Express from London to Paris, although now you have to go to Paris to actually catch the train. Here's the very long view and where the big money will be made. The 2000s and 2010s were the hard decades for making money. The 2020s and the 2030s will be easy ones as a global demographic brave brings on a new golden age. 85 million millennials will become big spenders over the next 15 years, while 80 million baby boomers, a drag on the economy, fade from the scene. That will create an economic boom that will last another decade that started in 2020. Uh, what happened the last time we had an identical demographic setup as we do now? Well, that was 1982 to 2000. Market went up 20 times in 18 years. Are you ready for a replay? Um, if you take that return and apply it to now, we go up 20 times from the 2009 bottom in 18 years. That takes the Dow to 120,000 by 2030. And if you think I'm crazy, we're already three-quarters of the way there. We only need one more triple to get us up to Dow 120,000. Except this time it's different. We have the AI tech turbocharger. Technology is hyper accelerating on all fronts simultaneously, and the pandemic greatly sped up the rate of change. AI-based products and services are just starting to roll out. Development of function quantum computers means that computational ability is about to increase a trillion-fold at no cost. World's major computational challenges will be solved, such as weather forecasting and cancer cures, and maybe even the stock market. Needless to say, barbell stocks dominate in this scenario, will become the bulk of stock market gains in our lifetimes. The 90s had cheaper computers, cheap operating software, and a new internet. The 2020s will have 10 times this number of new technology drivers. So, who will show you how to play the next 90,000 Dow points? Sit with me, John Thomas, the mad hedge fund trader, in my global trading dispatch. Discover how you can tap into the top performing trade mentoring service in the industry, up 88.05% in a year. Follow my research and market beating trade alerts, and you will rake the profits in. Let a Marine combat pilot steer you to big profits. We trade single stocks, options, and ETFs for global equities, bonds, foreign exchange, energy, commodities, precious metals, and real estate. And that is the 1932 de Havilland Tiger Moth, which I fly near Cambridge, England, once a year. This is a typical trade history for us. 10 out of 11 trades made money. We bought the S&P 500, made a 16% profit. Sold short treasuries, made 8.6%. Bought the Russell, made 14%. bought Amazon, bought Apple, bought Biogen, but then stopped out very quickly. About 90% of our trade alerts are profitable. 10% we stop out of because of black swans. It's just a matter of time before barbell stocks break out to new all-time highs. Watch this space melting up into the second half of 2020-25. Get ready to start reeling in those whoppers with Global Trader Trading Dispatch as your guide. Here's how our service works. Our algorithm predicted an imminent upside breakout in, guess what? NVIDIA. So we sent out a trade alert saying buy NVIDIA at $48 or best. Opening trade in this example, you had to buy 21 shares to get a $10,000 exposure. What happened? Well, in the next 22 trading days, NVIDIA went up 45%. So we just sit around and pat ourselves on the back. No, we sent out a trade alert. It says take profits, sell NVIDIA at 69.50 or best. It's closing trade, and we made $4,515 there on a $10,000 investment in just 22 days. These are Mad Hedge 10 baggers, stocks that went up 10 times after we recommended them. There was Zoom, which went up 10 times. Lam Research went up 10.6 times. Square went up 25 times. Moderna went up 40 times. And Nvidia went up 70 times. And can we top that? Yes, we can. Tesla went up 178 times from our original $2.35 cost. Yes, I bought four Teslas with the profits. Buy Tesla stock at the right price, and you can get a Tesla for free. I gained financial independence for life, and so can you. All of this can be yours. Discover how to make thousands of dollars a year in extra income. Go from complete beginner to seasoned pro in weeks. Learn how to quit your day job and trade for a living full time. Trade from anywhere, anytime. Supplement your retirement income with the satisfaction of booking winning trades by the hundreds. My Mad Hedge Global Trading Dispatch service gets you instant trade alerts and out at market sweet spots, about 200 a year, and all the reasons to execute them. Live biweekly strategy webinars with an interactive Q&A, special reports on urgent investment topics, invitations to strategy luncheons around the world, more educational videos and webinars than you can consume in a lifetime, access to a 16-year database on investment ideas. I'll even give you a tip on a great surfing school in North Africa. Watch out, it's a lot harder than it looks. This is the one-stop shop. It's for individuals who want to understand what is happening with their retirement funds. It's for people who want to learn how to trade for a living, get the financial education of a lifetime. For smaller institutions and financial advisors who can't afford an in-house research department, get in before the next melt-up begins. This is what you get, my global market comments in your inbox every day, 5 days a week. And you get Mad Hedge hot tips also in your inbox every day. The five most important things that happened today and what to do about them. This is what I'm not going to charge you for this service. I'm not going to charge you $100,000. That's what I charge my big hedge fund clients, and they're happy to pay because I make them millions of dollars. And I'm not going to charge $12,000. That's what I charge my concierge customers who get my personal cell phone number so I can be their investment 911. And I'm not going to charge you $3,500. That's the full price of what I'm offering you on my website. Not for you. Creating this product cost me millions of dollars. With the best customer service in the industry, running it costs millions more. 6 months for just $997. That is a 71.5% discount. It's a limited time offer. We only take 25 new subscribers at a time, so we don't overwhelm the market with our trade alerts. You make the money. Let me make the money for you to pay for your subscription. You make the trades. Discover how an experienced hedge fund manager finds and exploits the best sweet spots in any market. Just click in the chat box on the right. That'll take you to the dedicated sales page, which is only available today. And David, if you can get that up there right now, I'd appreciate it. 6 months for just $997. Buy now and you'll instantly receive a trade alert with an extremely high probability of success that you can execute immediately in the market since the market is now open and make some of the most serious money in your life. Don't leave good money on the table. Remember, 90% of these trade alerts make money immediately. Can you guess the trade alert? Just to give you a tease, this is a chart on the alert I'm about to send you. What I'm not going to tell you is this a buy or a sell. Sign up now and you also receive my free video course, Options Trading for Beginners. That's a 12-chapter video course about everything you ever wanted to know about options, written for the basic beginner. And believe me, even the pros like taking this course as a refresher to remind them what's out there. So, if you're going to work with me for the next 6 months, who is John Thomas? Well, my family origins are very humble. I grew up as the oldest of seven children on a remote farm in Southern California. I lived the all-American childhood, playing Little League baseball and becoming an Eagle Scout. There wasn't much to do in rural California. It wasn't exciting then as it is now. So I picked up a job as a paper boy for the Los Angeles Herald Examiner. I found the stock pages, bought IBM at 20 and sold it at 30, and suddenly found a far better way to make money than delivering newspapers off the back of a bicycle. By the time I was 16, enough I earned enough money to fly to Europe, and by the age of 17, I'd visited more than 50 countries and spoke four languages. At UCLA, I majored in math and DNA research, which landed me a job at the nuclear test site in Nevada. Their yield didn't mean interest paid, but millions of Russians killed. I didn't see a future in that, so the government sent me to Southeast Asia for a few years of intelligence missions where I learned how to fly and jump out of perfectly good airplanes. There I advised the militaries of America's Asian allies. As the war wound down, I became a foreign correspondent for The Economist magazine in London. When they learned I had a math degree, they switched me over to covering the Asian economy and the stock market. Ta-da! After 10 years of government service, all I got was this box of medals, which I trot out once a year on Veterans Day. Notice the Good Conduct Medal from the Marine Corps. Don't count on that happening again. As a foreign correspondent, I covered China during the Cultural Revolution, was the first American to report to North Korea since the Korean War, and covered the rest of the continent all the way out to India. I figured out very quickly you didn't have to be that smart to make money in the stock market, so I got into the industry, joining Morgan Stanley. After 10 years there, I started my own hedge fund. And here's my original ID card from Morgan Stanley. Yes, the years have been cruel. And unfortunately, this head of security who signed my card died in 9/11. I served as a tank commander during Desert Storm in 1991. We lost one tank and the Iraqis lost 5,000. As you can see, I like winning. I rapidly became the top performing hedge fund of the 1990s, eventually bringing in a 1,000% return in a decade. There, the money really started to pour in. It's an understatement to say that when your income goes from the thousands to the tens of millions, it really has a big impact on your lifestyle. You get to buy the latest hot car, collect vintage Rolls Royces, fly your own private plane around Europe, and go marlin fishing with your kids. By the way, they all got seasick. I now spend my days pursuing my winning trade alerts, but now I do it from my three mansions in San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, and Zermatt, Switzerland. And I've quit turning millionaires into billionaires. There is far more satisfaction leveling the playing field for the average guy and teaching them how to trade. And that includes you. If I can take a $50,000 account, turn it into 500,000, that is more job satisfaction than I could ever get anywhere. In the little free time I have left, I pursue my other love, flying vintage aircraft on weekends. If you see old planes flying loops around San Francisco or London these days, it's probably me. That is an RAF chipmunk in England, de Havilland tiger moth. That is a DH-4, uh, the plane that appeared in the 1928 movie Hell's Angels, and that is an old Army trainer. Ultimate gift is, of course, to give those who need it. As a Marine Corps veteran, I volunteer for grief counseling for widows and orphans, and I'm a major donor to Wounded Warriors. When the wildfires hit California, I visited the main evacuation centers and handed out $10,000 worth of Target gift cards. So when you make millions of dollars for your clients, you get a lot of pretty interesting invitations. $5,000 cases of wine, lunches on super yachts, and free tickets to the Olympics, and dates with movie stars, and I promise not to talk. So it was in that spirit that I traveled to the famed World War II fighter station at Biggin Hill in England to meet Mad Hitch concierge member Peter Monk. Oops, try again. Peter was a poorly paid pilot for Ryanair when he first signed up for my global trading dispatch. After doubling his money in the first year, Peter upgraded to my concierge service. Then the money really started to pour in. Peter plowed his Mad Hedge trading profits into restoring a 1940 Battle of Britain veteran, a Supermarine Spitfire Mark IX, in his backyard, begging, borrowing, and trading for parts all over the world. He eventually built his fleet up to 16 flying aircraft, which are today worth over $65 million. dollars. When Peter invited me to fly one, I jumped at the chance. It was a mild and blustery day when we took off and headed for the English Channel. Even though the plane was 82 years old, we managed a brisk 250 mile per hour over the countryside. The Spitfire could outmaneuver any plane the German Air Force threw up against it. This particular plane is credited with shooting down two Messerschmitt Bf 109s, and it's easy to see how. Found a clear piece of sky over the white cliffs of Dover between two big fluffy cumulus clouds and commenced a full-on aerobatic flight test. Pilots always want to see what I can do with these old planes, and this time was no different. I executed multiple loops, barrel rolls, chandelles, lazy eights, Immelman turns, and wing overs, careful never to exceed 1G limitation, or the wings might fall off. Spitfires can dive like crazy. We dropped from 8,000 feet to 2,000 feet in seconds. Then it was back to Biggin Hill for a perfect three-point landing and a pint of beer. Let me make millions of dollars for you as well as I have done for thousands of other followers over the last 18 years. I look forward to all of you. And by the way, in the particular pub we went to, the walls were covered with the pictures of pilots who had died during the Battle of Britain. They were all 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They all look like kids. All right, so here's the offer you can't refuse. 6 months for just $997. Let me show you how to make the money to pay for your own subscription, and just click on the link on the in the chat box. I'm going to check the store here and see who has come in so far. We have Jay from St. Petersburg, Florida. Thank you very much, Jay. Promise to work hard for your money and check your inbox now and execute that trade alert. We can get a good price for it right now. Karen from Cody, Wyoming has come in. Karen, thank you much for signing up. We have Eric from Flagstaff, Arizona. Here's another one order that came in. Adam from Durham, South Carolina. We have John from Douglas, Georgia. Let me see who else has come in here. Okay, let me check this over here. Let me check the chat box. Yep, the link is up there. Will your indicators work? Here's a question that just came in. Will this indicator work for day trading futures? Yes, it does. In fact, we have a lot of people who take our service. They don't execute our trade alerts, but they use it as market timing for the market as a whole. and individual stocks. So yes, we do get a lot of interest from futures traders because they're the most active people in the foreign exchange markets and the bond markets. Let's see, any other questions here? Here's one. I'm a basic beginner. Uh, will this work for people new to the options market? And I say yes. We will give you the education you need to do anything you want in the options market. I've been trading the options market since stock options opened. Um, 50 years ago. So, yeah, I've had a lot of practice training people all the year, and all the smart money is made in options these days. The volatility in stocks is just, for single stocks, is just too new. Here, let me check. A couple of orders have just come in, and let me see who those are. We have Keith from uh, Middle. Middlesbrough, North Yorkshire in England. Thank you very much, Keith. And let me check the another order here. We have Sean from Newcastle, California. Thank you very much, Sean. And check your inbox for the trade alert. Good entry point here, and well done. Okay, I see we're going to hit our 25 limitation pretty soon. So if you're sitting on the fence, hemming and hawing, uh, you better get in now before the store shuts down and we can't take any more orders. Uh, okay, here's another question. What time does your letter come out? Usually the Global Trading Dispatch comes out before the market opens, so you can enter your orders before the market uh, starts trading. And hot tips usually comes early in the morning after I've had a chance to digest all the news from about 20 different news sources that I use. I've worked as a journalist for 10 years, so I know how the system works, and I can usually spot uh, fake news, which is abundant these days, and find out what the real story is. Okay, let me check some more. Go ahead and type your questions in. I got the chat box open right in front of me, and just click on that link, madhedgefundtrader.com. That'll take you to the dedicated sales page. Okay, more people have come in. Frank from Columbus, Iowa. We have Tracy from Grand Junction, Colorado. And we have Michael from Corpus Christi, Texas. Thank you very much, people. And again, check your inbox for that trade alert. No, I'm not going to tell you what the trade alert is or whether it's a long or short. For that, you have to subscribe to our service at a 71% discount. Um, Here's another question from a bond trader. Will Jay Powell cut interest rates in July or September? Answer no to both dates. The impact of the tariffs will start to be felt in the August inflation data. We did get a 0.3% tick up in the June data, and prices are already rising. So, can the Fed cut interest rates while inflation is rising? Not this one, definitely not, but the next one probably will. And that the new Fed governor comes into office in May, and he'll probably cut interest rates come hell or high water. Okay, checking for more questions here. Okay. What's the probability of your long-term $120,000 target getting hit? Actually, that's my conservative target. If AI develops as promised and the stocks keep going and new stocks are spun off, 120,000 by 2030 becomes a chip shot, and it's more likely the market will double that, go to 240,000 or higher. So yeah, I'm very positive on the market for the long term, as long as its stocks don't get demolished by a rising national debt and higher interest rates. Um, let's see. Okay, if anybody has any trouble executing the order, we know that the order page is working because of all the orders we've gotten. So in that case, go to madhedgefundtrader.com, um, contact customer support, and they will take care of you. Okay, and again, that's mad. We are one of the most widely circulated financial websites in the market. Okay, so yeah, here's a customer who entered the wrong date on the order in the first place, and his computer remembered all the entries. He's not able to enter correct data. So that's why I say contact customer support at Mad Hedge Fund Trader. Okay, any other um, questions here? Yeah, here's another message. Yes. The trade alert is an automated process. So the second your order clears the credit card company, you should receive the trade alert immediately and execute it immediately. So if you're a brand new subscriber, and it looks like you are, check your junk folder because if our email address is not in your address book, it will get declined as a spam. So check your junk folder, and if you don't get it, then email customer support, and they'll send you the trade alert directly. Or you can log into the website, which you should be able to now do, and you will find a record of all previous trade alerts we've issued in the last uh, 18 years. There's over 2,000 of them over 18 years. Um, Does your indicator work on the Forex market? Absolutely. We watch the Forex market very carefully. Anybody my age cut their teeth on trading the Forex market along with commodities in the 1970s because there was nothing else to do. The market was stocks were as dead as a doorknob in the 1970s. It took 10 years for the Dow to go up 1,000 points. So we all started out as Forex traders mostly, but also bond traders and commodity traders. Of course, the big hot commodity then was gold, which was going from $34 an ounce up to 900. That was a big money maker for a lot of us. Uh, okay, here's someone who already has the service. He says it's amazing and it's mind blowing. Well, thank you very much. I try to blow as many minds as possible, given the opportunity. Okay, we're running out of time here. I have about a minute left, and get your questions in here. And again, any questions, direct them to madhedgefundtrader at yahoo.com, and we will address your concerns. Okay, just checking here for more questions. Uh, uh, just subscribed, received your trade alert. Looks like a great trade. I should have seen this, but I missed it. Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you in the coming 6 months and probably forever. Forever works for me. Um, okay, let's see. Other customers coming in. Ian from Cambridge, England. Well, Ian, great. I usually visit Cambridge once a year to fly that tiger moth. So let's get together for a Guinness, pint of Guinness after work. We have Seth from New York City. We have Judy from Memphis, Tennessee. We're almost at 25 right now. We have exactly 2 slots left. Jeff from Plattsburgh, New York. Lance from Bemidji, Minnesota. Okay, well, I think my time is up. Uh, David, if you want me to take more questions, I can do it before the hour, or if you want to take over now, just go ahead.